Good afternoon, everybody. It's your boy D Mac. Let's talk. All right, so I'm here to talk about something that is taking place right up under our noses, and I don't know if people recognize it or not, but this is absolutely what's taking place, and I want to draw attention to it. So I'm beginning to notice that with these governors coming out with these rules and things that people can't do if they haven't been vaccinated and things like that, that the American government is placing sanctions on the citizens who are unvaccinated. Is this legal? Is this something that they can legally do? Because they can't force you to go and take the vaccine, but what they can do is impose these sanctions. And what a sanction is, by definition, it's a penalty for failing to obey a law or a rule. We see many times our America puts other countries on sanctions. We have sanctions on China. We have sanctions on North Korea. We have sanctions on any country that's in opposition to what our goal is, basically. Any country who we feel is going to be a danger or a threat, we're going to starve them out or basically stop trade and stop economic growth in that area. So, what America does to people is they sanction them and they give them penalties for not following a certain rule or law. And this is what's being done to the unvaccinated American. They're having sanctions placed on them. You can't go here, you can't do this, you can't do that. So my question is this: if the other people have been vaccinated and this vaccine is such a sure shot because the FDA just approved one of them, one out of the three, and it's definitely not Johnson and Johnson, thank God. But when you've done this and you're saying it's okay to go, even though your original report said that the vaccine would not be approved until 2022, but because you're getting so much pushback from people, now all of a sudden the vaccine has been fully approved. No, this is fishy to me, people. I'm sorry. And I won't share with nobody whether I'm vaccinated or not because that's my personal business, but I will say this: to try to place sanctions on people who choose not to take the vaccine is absolutely ludicrous, and it's showing the deterioration of this country. America is going to hell in a handbasket, and this is part of it. I mean, there's no other way to say it. And so I'm just going to say it like it is. Now, in this country, we've endured a lot of things. We've endured Ebola. We've endured HIV. We've endured Zika. We've endured the swine flu. We've endured H2N1. We've endured a lot of outbreaks. And the difference between those outbreaks and this one is that we had a competent government who contained it before it got to a pandemic or even an epidemic level. And these competent people had a plan, and they also networked with the rest of the world to make sure that everybody was on the same page, because we understand that people travel from here to there and these things can be spread like that. And so when we had this outbreak of Ebola coming out of Africa, we quickly sealed it and contained it because we were in contact with all of these other entities who reported these things. And so we were able to get a grip on it. So what happened with this virus? Well, with this virus, we had a plan in place. We had a playbook in place that the Obama administration left, and Trump took it and he threw it out the window, and he didn't replace it with anything. And he also disbanded the pandemic team that we had, who was made up of scientists and virologists who stayed up on this stuff, and that was their job, that was their section, that's what they did. And Donald Trump did away with it, and now this is where we are. And now, instead of the government taking responsibility for allowing this thing to go where it has gone, They want to place sanctions on the people who choose not to trust them in their poor judgment. Wow, this is like damned if you do, damned if you don't. I'm not going to trust your judgment because you have failed me so many times. And then to penalize me for not trusting your shaky judgment, your bad judgment, and your poor judgment. Wow, that's really a slap in the face to the people. I know I might get this video struck. This video might get taken down or whatever the case may be. But for the time being, I'm going to be heard because everything that I'm saying is absolutely true. And if I do get flagged, I might have to seek some type of action against them for suppressing the truth about the matter because there's nothing that I've said thus far that is not the truth. So these sanctions that are being placed on the people now, these are things that are causing the division and causing the people to want to go around and rip masks off of other people's face and have such anger because of what the government is doing. We need to turn this anger to the people who truly deserves it, and that is the American government who put us in this position in the first place. Okay? So quit aiming your anger at each other and hurting each other and being vicious and malicious towards each other and redirect it towards the people who it deserves to go towards. America, how hard is that? How hard is that? It is not a hard thing to do. The only reason that it's a hard thing to do is because it will discredit your identity politics. You don't want to point the finger at your group because you are included in that then. And so now it comes down to a pride thing. You're going to allow pride to overshadow what really needs to be done. Man, this is a crazy world that we live in. This is why I don't be outside in public a lot. This is why I stay in my crib and stay to myself and stay to my family because there are some idiots in this world who have been placed in a position of power and they have absolutely no thought for the people. Only thought they have is for their enrichment and for them to be placed on a higher pedestal. So when you're dealing with these types of people who are in high positions, you have to take it upon yourself to protect yourself and your family and those around you. And this is what I'm doing right now. I'm protecting those around me by bringing forth the information of what is taking place in America. You're being sanctioned right now. That's absolutely what it is. There's no way to sugarcoat it or try to get around it. That's exactly what it is. And so, what then can we do to get these sanctions up off of us? The only thing that they're saying that you can do is to get vaccinated. Like I said before, that is your choice. You have every right to make that decision based on your life and your circumstances and your family. But for the government to force our hand by placing sanctions on us is dirty, and I believe it's unconstitutional. I'm gonna have to look through the Constitution again to see if the government can place sanctions on the American people like this and force them into doing something because that's what it is. It's indirect force. Oh, you don't have to do it, but if you don't do it, then you're not gonna be able to do this, and this. Is that legal in the United States? Is it morally right? These are the questions that we have to ask whenever these things come down the pipeline because they'll dress it up and use other words to disguise what they're really doing. But I'm telling you exactly what it is. They're placing sanctions on us like they do North Korea, like they're going to do Afghanistan, like they do China, like they do Russia, everybody who's not following what they want them to do. You're next. You're already next. With it, not no next, you're already being done like that. So America, I hope you see this and I hope you raise the level of awareness on this topic because it's very important because what are they going to place sanctions on next? That is the question. when you really think about it, this right here sets a precedence. Because if they can put sanctions on you for this, what are they going to sanction next? Whenever you're doing something that they don't want you, that they want you to do, or that they don't want you to do, what type of sanctions are they going to put in place and just cover it up as if it's nothing's going on? This is a level of control that we never wanted to give to the government. And this is why we're fighting so heavy for our guns, because we see the tyranny. We see the tyrants. We see the sick people. We see the sociopaths that are in our government right now. And they have absolutely no competence to rule over anybody, but they've been put in that position. I liken it back to the Bible, because there were some rulers who were in some high places, like Ahab. Ahab had no backbone whatsoever, and his wife, Jezebel, ran things. And he was a very passive man, and he was not a ruler. He did not have the heart of a king. He had the heart of a peasant. And so, is this what we're going to become? Is this what we're going to have to endure as a people? Because the more freedoms we give over to this country, the more they're going to take, and they're not going to give them back. So once we give them to them, it's gone. So think about that while you're allowing the American government to sanction you for not taking a vaccine. This is a big thing, y'all, and it's way bigger than a mask. This is about our freedom, and this is about control over us as citizens of the United States. Do you want to be free, or do you want to be controlled by the government, sanctioned by the government, and scared into doing any and everything that they want you to do? That's a question that you have to answer for yourself personally. I've already answered the question for myself, and that's why I'm doing this video. So, you know what I always say, everybody. Sticks and stones can break your bones, but the word can always heal you. It's your boy D Mac. I'm out.